Hey, welcome to our very first training for One Goal Fitness. All right, I got my screen going here. I'm going to walk you through a few things, got some graphics headed out for you. So hopefully you can see it. If not, not to worry, you'll be able to see all of the graphics once you get into the app. And it's very simple. You need the link. I will send that to you. But let me just type it out here. It's always https:// one goal fitness and glide app.io. So that's it. That's all you need to do. And there is a process when you actually set that as your link where you're going to use a sign in. And so when we sign in, if you can see this app, this top corner right here on your phone is going to be where you sign in. Okay. And so that's critical. And so if you don't sign in, then it's not going to track your progress and it's not going to keep things moving in the same way. So make sure that you understand that this little menu button is going to help us out. So when we click it, the very first thing will be your name and information. And from here, you're going to be able to fill out your email address. And when it sends it, it will send you a PIN and you'll be sent to another screen. So you enter the PIN. And then when you come back here, there's going to be enter your access code. And so in your access code, that is once you've paid, then it will allow us to send you all of the great information. And so here I've already signed in because you can see my name. And so that's going to allow anyone to click to get the videos and they will just play however you like. Okay. And so we scroll down and we can see we've got hey, this is what's happening next video. And so depending on where you are in the process will be dependent on what you see. There's a link here to buy the program. And so again, if you maybe have a friend that wants to join you, it is really recommended to always have a buddy. So think about somebody that you could come alongside with because it allows us to keep networked. We can network together online, but it is a little bit tricky. Everybody's got a different schedule. And just reminding you today, we have a 90-day program. And so this is really at your own pace and things will be on demand, but I want you to feel like you're a part of it, right? It's not that you're doing it alone. We are working together, building our group, and it's so important to have support. And so we're going to do 12 weekly live teaching sessions. I'd love for you to join me online. If you can't make it, you're going to get a recording just like this one. And then there are 3 main modules and probably some more features that are going to just pop in as we go and as I am developing the program. So our first one we're going to cover tonight, it's goal activation. And then we'll talk about the resources and also a little bit more about the community as we go. So just to finish our tour of the app, so across the bottom, you'll see the tabs and you're going to find the teaching information under the modules. And then the calendar is here. So when we have a session 1, you will be able to just click the link. But what you want to do is make sure that you are marking off that, oh yeah, I actually recorded, I watched the recording if you didn't make it. And guess what's going to happen? You'll get a little bit of a delay there, but you will get a nice little display of a little graphic. So that's kind of fun. And then when you finish all of the sections on that, you'll just move on just according to what you want. So the calendar can help keep track of things for you on how far you're making in the progress. Now, this is about fitness, is it not? Yes, it is. And so I've recorded some of these videos. And what this muscle memory is that our muscles will move in a way that's like the easiest for them. And if you don't use a particular muscle, it kind of gets a little bit weaker. And when we have a weakness in our balance, front, back side of the body, if one side is more weak, the other side will be overworked. And so when people find they have back pain or knee pain, often because it's due to the fact that there is some kind of imbalance. And so what we want to do is go and reset some of these muscle memory actions. And so I've got, I would say maybe about 10 videos for you to go through, and I'll be adding onto these, but you'll have lots of time to go through. Basically, my goal is to keep them between 8 and 10 minutes. So it's not very long. And you can repeat them as often as you like so that you're just checking in with yourself. I'd recommend you also do it and do it in front of the mirror, maybe, and just see how do you feel. Are you getting what I'm trying to teach? If you're not sure, great time to ask some questions, and you can always email me, text me, and we do have a chat feature. I'll show you that in a little bit, but we want you to make sure that you're feeling comfortable. These are not intense movements, right? So if you're a brand new beginner, you're going to find that okay, that might just be enough. If you're getting a little bit stronger, maybe you do it a couple times. Maybe you link a few of them together. We'll talk a little bit more about what would be appropriate for that. But the idea is just to get moving. If you're feeling good after your 10 minutes, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, do some other kind of activity because you're feeling good. So it's a great time to get started. All right. So that is a little bit about the tour here. If I back up and I go to the modules, you can see there's an introductory video, so feel free to watch that. But today we're going to talk about goal activation. And so here's our how things are set up. So we've got a little bit of an explanation of what we're talking about, the mission statement. So a lift thinker. So we're trying to get our minds to be lifted just a little bit more, because often when we don't feel like doing physical activity, it does start here. So we're going to train this mind to help us to reset things so that we can just achieve our goals. And the point being with when we set goals is we don't want to set it and forget it. We actually want to get there. And so I've coined this term goal activation, and this is what we're going to talk about tonight. So later on, you're going to come in here and you're going to click the 7 videos. So each one of these, when you get in there, it's actually a little video. Okay. So just click on it and then you can make some notes. So these notes, if you put it in the app, no one's really going to see them. I would have access if I really looked for it. So if you don't want to type it out to me, then write it in a notebook. But it's just really a handy place so that you can kind of remind yourself of key points. But again, that's just up to you what you want to do with that. And then again, you're going to click that you've completed the video. And over time, we're going to start to add up and make sure that you're getting, like getting all of the pieces that you need. So in this particular module, there's 7 steps, but there's other numbers of steps for each of the modules. And when we say 7, each of those videos are like 2 minutes, right? Is 2 to 4 minutes. So maybe one day you're going to do 2 of them. Maybe another day, just you only have time for 1. But I want you to put in your mind that you're going to come into the app on a regular basis every day, and you're going to do some work here. And if you've got this in your plan, your muscle memory stuff, that's what you're going to do. We're going to talk a little bit more about that as well. We have a worksheet here. So that button will take us over to the worksheet, and then some more buttons and some more notes. So we've got lots going on here. So let's dive into it. If you have any questions, you need to just reach out, call me, say, I like this, I don't like that, because it's very easy for me to just build into what we need in terms of the feedback. So I really appreciate all of your comments. And by the way, if it looks different when you get into the app, so maybe I've made some developments. Don't worry, the structure will stay the same and it will make sense as we go. All right. So your job is to get to that micro training, those 7 videos. Try to do it within a week. But if it takes you 2 weeks, whatever. If it takes you 2 days, okay, this is your program, right? And we want to inspire you to just make a focus of it. I'll set out reminders as I can, but really, this next little bit is going to help us to be really get the most success that we can get. Okay, so let's get on it. Okay, so when we click the button, try it out worksheet, it will load up a PDF. And so here's where you can save it to your computer or you can print it out. It's up to you. But one of the recommendations that I would have for you is to actually get one of these things alongside your app and some kind of paper. So whether you use your own notebook, the idea is that when you use your own hand to write, it helps your mind to process. I am like a huge believer in this. So like all that scratchy notes, just write anything that you want, and then you can come back and summarize it. Okay, so we have 7 things to get through tonight. And again, the idea is we're going to go through this worksheet today, but you definitely get on in those videos as well, because that will really help you. Okay, so the first page, we have everything laid out, so you can use this as a referral, like just to remind yourself, but you're going to take your time with each page. So number 1 is your dream. So we want to make sure that when we're thinking about fitness, that we don't have limits on ourselves. And we know that, it may not be possible tomorrow, it may not be possible in 10 years, but let's make a dream. If everything was open, if anything was possible, this is where we're going to take a moment and say, well, I would like to climb a mountain. Whatever your dream is. It's not only about your needs, but it's about more. It's about where, what's going to be a moment in your life that you're going to just put that as a memory, as something that you feel very proud of, maybe something that you do with friends. I want you to just take your time with this first step. And look, I wrote my own notes. I've got it going down there. And it's not something that we do very often. So take your time with that. And then we get on to our next idea, and that is to distinguish our dream versus our goal. So our dream is way far off, and it might even be impossible. That's fine. Impossible is okay. That's what a dream is for. Dream the impossible. But our goal is going to be the first thing that's kind of in that direction. If you think of a little toddler and they take their first steps, they're not strong, like they're wobbly. So that's what you're going to do, is you're going to create a goal for yourself that's like a first wobbly step, or it's going to be maybe a little bit of a challenge. It's not something that you're currently doing, but it's going to be not that pretty. For me, one of my wobbly steps is to actually go and play softball. And all of my kids play, and I never have played on a team. And so this is one of my wobbly steps, and it's on my list, right? That I would really just commit to actually every week getting on the ball diamond. And it's wobbly, right? Like it's not perfect. I feel kind of like a dummy, but that's okay. That's the way life is sometimes. But it is towards a goal of feeling all right to go play catch. That's really one of my goals. And so as we go with that, you're going to make sure that you're seeing that challenge and seeing the first step towards that. Okay. And the next thing is we're going to actually define it very specifically. And I did send out an extra page. There's one more page for this, where we're going to get into tonight, that is really defining your first goal. And so I'm going to flip back over to the app for a second. And so again, same thing, like all the questions are right here. It's easy. You guys can follow it. The idea being that you work at your own pace. But when I come back to the app, oops, here we go. I'm going to go in this one here. So I'm going to come back to the goal activation page. And if I scroll down here, we're going to set the goal activities. Okay, so if we're talking about movement, there are any number of movements that you could schedule for your week. I spent a lot of years being told how to move, right? So, and then I would also spend those same number of years telling other people how to move. But what we're going to do is we're going to take the limits off. We're going to do any activity that you want I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to help you if you need some help to move a little bit more appropriate. But there's things that you like to do and things that you're interested in. And that if I make you do things my way, it's not going to be motivating for you. So this is a really important piece. So what I want you to do is start with 3 items that you can add to your week. Okay. And it doesn't matter what it is. And it could be as simple as walking. So you click the number 1 and you click on activity, and you can scroll down the list if you like. But I already know I just want to add walking. So I'll type here walking. Oh, am I going to walk or jog? Less than 10 minutes. Oh, I'm going to go in the middle there. It says I'm going to walk 3.5 miles an hour and 17. So if it would take me 17 minutes to walk a mile, I know kilometers. We'll change that one day. But how long would I go if I decide I'm going to go for a walk? Well, maybe I would walk the dog. Dog is a challenge for me. You might have seen my dog refuse to walk. But anyway, so if I said, okay, even if I have to leave the dog at home, it's going to be 20 minutes. And I'm going to do that. Well, it should be every day, but me personally, say I'm going to do it 3 times per week. Okay. If I have any notes, maybe there's no notes, walk the dog. I don't know. Something like that. Okay. And then I come back and you can see that now it is listed there. So then I'm going to go through and I'm going to fill in all of the information. And so I'm going to just hurry myself up here for a second. And I'm going to hopefully, let's see here. I was hoping to have there it is. Okay. So for me, I've already filled this out. So I have baseball as one, I have walking as a second one, and I have bicycling. Okay. And so in this case, I would do a 30-minute session 1 time a week. And for you, maybe you want to do the same thing more often, or maybe you like the variety. So this is important for you to figure out what you like. I'm suggesting you start with 3. That's why I've limited it. But say you're like me and you want to do something different every day. This is where I've put in 6 different activities and I've listed out all the times. So once I've got that in there, this is my goal activity. Okay. And the next piece, so I feel pretty confident. I know that I want to do, those items. So I want to walk, I want to ride my bike, and I want to play baseball. Next thing, I'm going to check it out in terms of my weekly total. So my goal in general for weight loss, for fitness, is going to be 250 minutes per week. Okay. If you currently are doing 50 minutes, like very little of activity per week, 250 is going to be too far, right? You're going to have to build up to it. So this is where you're going to ask yourself, what is acceptable for you? What have you been doing? So I would say start with a 10% increase. So if you think, well, actually, I would only ever go for a walk around the grocery store, or I would only ever do, gardening, something like that. Okay, so figure out what would be your guess if it's 100 minutes in a week. Okay, then try to aim for 110. And then the next week, 120. So you're going to just slowly increase. But eventually, your goal is to get to 250 minutes per week. So it's simple. That's it. But here's where the beautiful part comes. So I already know that my baseball is going to take me an hour and a half each week. And that's one session. And I know that I'm going to do walking, and it's going to be a total of 40 minutes. And I'm going to cycle for 30 minutes. And I'm also going to row for 30 minutes. And I'm going to weight lift for 40 minutes. And then I'm going to do 2 sessions from the muscle memory. So it's a lot of variety for me. But guess what? It actually adds up to 250 minutes. Okay. If something happens, you can always just come in here and adjust that number. Not a problem at all. And you'll see that the total is also adjusted. And if it's in a range that's around that 250, you're going to see a green flag. If it is not yet set, let's just see if I can get this to work for us. If I take it in as anybody, Let's go. It didn't reset yet, but you will not see that green flag. Okay. And then the next bit is we get to be able to track our workouts. So here is where I have the things already entered that I've already done. So if today, for example, I actually did go for bike rides. So I'm going to put bicycling. Okay, I wasn't going too fast, and I did about 30 minutes. Okay, so good for me. That was, and if you click on this date, I can actually choose which date it is, and I can change that accordingly. So I'm going to say that was today, and the time, again, it's up to you if you want to be that detailed. And then you'll see that it's now added to the list. Okay, so I've recorded my activity. So this is a quick little record so that you can just go through and keep track. There will be more with this as we go, but we're going to start just with those simple things. So what are you going to do? How often? Keep it simple. And each week you can come back in here and adjust it. How'd the week go? Do you need to change something in your plan? So this is all about your plan. And then you're going to see that your total, whether is your plan good? Are you at 250? Do you need a little bit more time to get there? So you're going to set that. And then you're going to use the tracker to actually go in every day and put what you actually did in terms of activity time. All right. So that is being very specific in goal number 1. Okay, I hope that makes sense. If there's any questions with that, you know what my phone number is. So come back to me and check in. So we're coming back to the worksheet again, using your pen. You're going to just determine. You're going to say, yeah, actually, I'm going to do it. And this is why it's important for you to go back into the app or write it down. Use both. Use everything you can just to say, yeah, that's actually something I can do, and I'm going to do it. So then this is all about in your own mind, but then you're going to tell someone. So if you want to tell someone in the app, we're going to get out of here. That little menu, the top corner menu, there's actually a little chat button here. And so in the chat button, if you just hit the plus button, you can say, I am going to play baseball every week. Okay, so then I can just hit send, and then you all who are a part of the program will be able to see that is the goal that we are setting, and we can chat back and forth. Okay. If you have a major question, if you put it in the chat and I don't see it, please let me know that you did that so that I can come back in and answer. So if you remember that we were in goal activation, the buttons are here. We also can get there by this menu, the set the fitness goal activity. So that's number 1, number 2, and number 3 are right there. Okay. And so that is also the summary. This is another little summary that you can see once we've entered it. Then you can come back here and see, oh, we've got a running total. So my total so far is 290 minutes, but I had a weak start. So get on it with me and we'll continue on. All right. So that is where we're at on number 5. So we're going to write it down. We're going to tell someone. So what we want to do is when we're telling people, we want to really make sure that we're going to discover our teammates. So we're not just telling the clerk at the grocery store who really doesn't care, who you're not going to see again. You're going to figure out who are those people that are going to check in with you. Is it me? Yep, I will check in with you. But who else can help you? Who's around you? Who can be someone that says, yeah, you know what? I know you got to meet that movement today, your one goal. So I'm going to help you. Let's go for a walk together. Okay, let's get those steps in. Maybe let's do that video together. And then you're going to drive and dodge. So in this case, I want you to remember that any journey is not like the 401. Even the 401 has its challenges, but it's not straight and it's not fast. There's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be issues that are always a challenge. So this is where we're going to keep going. We're not stopping. We're going to drive. And so when we activate our goal, we're not just saying, hey, this is important to me, but we're saying it's really important to me and I'm going to keep moving forward, even if I have to pause. Sometimes you do have to pause. Even if I have to rest, okay, that's all right. Even if I have to skip things that are a little too difficult for me right now, okay, do that. But we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to come back to it, and then we're going to dodge any of the obstacles, right? And a lot of times the obstacle comes in our path and it then stops us. That's not what we're going to commit to. So what I want you to do in the number 7 is maybe write down some of the obstacles and figure out, well, if that happens, so if the kids get sick, does that mean your fitness is out the door? No, it means that you're going to have to figure out, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to commit when you don't feel well? Okay. Do you need to give yourself permission to take a break? It can't be a permanent break. You have to put a time limit on it. So these are things that we're going to talk about next week in our calendar strategy. And so I want you to be thinking and starting with driving and dodging, and start to envision what might be some of our challenges that we are going to come across that are going to, cause us to maybe lose focus a little bit. COVID definitely was a big one for everybody, because if people were in a good habit of going to the gym, all of a sudden they couldn't go to the gym. So these are the things that maybe we can't foresee. We can't foresee the specifics, but we can foresee that things go wrong. So that's where I want to really talk and get ourselves thinking about activation in our goals. So not just set it and forget it, but to actually prepare for the challenges that do arise. All right, let me click back into the app and let's see if there's anything else. I think that is enough information for today. But remember that once you've gone through everything there, you're going to hit back to the calendar. You're going to come back in and you're going to say, yeah, hey, I did a live teaching. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Do let me know that you watch this and make sure that you click off your button. I am excited for this program. I think it's going to be a great new thing. So a little different than maybe what most people expect. That's okay. We're going to create something great together. All right. See you next time.